Hello everyone. Welcome to this channel Jikook universe. In this video we will discuss something interesting and definitely a shame to miss. Come on, watch until the end. Jimin surprised fans with his latest post on Weverse. A photo from inside a recording studio. Soft light illuminated his serene face, seemingly immersed in his own creative world. That expression, friendly yet focused, is a reflection of who he truly is. Someone who never stops loving music and those who love him. That personal touch is evident in every detail of the photo. And as always, Jimin didn't just speak with his voice, he spoke with his heart. What made the moment even more special was the short yet profound message that accompanied it. Is it Army's birthday? Happy birthday. Just a few words, but enough to make thousands of hearts flutter. Despite his incredibly busy schedule, Jimin still made time to connect with his fans, strengthening a relationship not forged by contracts, but by a love that has grown since day one. Currently, Jimin and Jungkook are in Los Angeles. Many believe their presence is related to the work on BTS's next album, as the members begin their mandatory military service. Their departure was captured by the media, two world-famous figures, walking side by side amidst the bustling airport, yet still creating their own little world, where there was only the two of them and a mutually understood silence. Jungkook, in his black Calvin Klein beanie, became another eye-catching focal point. At first glance it was just a hat. But for those accustomed to reading the silent language of BTS members, it was more than just an accessory. The beanie spelled out Tokyo, complete with a specific address in Japan. To some, it might be a trivial detail. But for Jungkook's fans, that address was a doorway to the past, a sweet memory from Golden Closet film. Tokyo, a quiet yet meaningful documentation of their journey together in the heart of the city that never sleeps. The places featured in the video, YM Square, Harajuku, the Onitsuka Tiger Store, the back alleys of Tokyo, were not just locations. They were the backdrops for stories held dear to fans' hearts. Laughter captured behind the camera, an unintentional touch on the shoulder, and a look too sincere to deny. The beanie reminded many of a connection so real, it didn't need a microphone to be heard. But there was something more. Some fans noticed that the numbers in the address were slightly different from the original. Not a mistake perhaps, but a code, a sign, a possibility that the numbers corresponded to a specific date. Perhaps the day Jimin and Jungkook shared one of their most iconic selfies. That moment wasn't just about a photo. It was a confession without words. Jungkook is known for preserving memories in his own way. He may not always express his feelings directly, but he's good at leaving a mark. And that beanie, with the numbers, the city, and the vibrations of memories, could be one of the quietest yet most profound ways of saying, I still remember him. Jimin and Jungkook's relationship isn't something that can be confined to a definition. They don't pretend. They don't try to convince anyone. Because a connection like that can't be formed by force. It grows slowly with every shared moment, every unexpected hug, every little habit that only the two of them understand. They touch without hesitation, lean in without shame, looking at each other and finding a warmth that needs no explanation. Every gesture as if saying, I understand. Not all relationships can be like that. Not everyone can be so open without fear of appearing too close. But Jimin and Jungkook are different. They are never truly alone because they have each other. And while the world watches, they don't change. They remain the two young people who first shared a stage over a decade ago, now standing in the spotlight, yet still looking out for each other, They may not always talk about their relationship, but they don't need to. Because as the wise say, the most sincere relationships are those that don't need to be explained. Some say it's just friendship. Others say it's fan service. But love in any form doesn't always speak out loud. Sometimes, love just sits quietly in the corner waiting for the right moment to be revealed. And perhaps, amidst all the cameras and cheers, Jimin and Jungkook have shown us what love truly looks like. Quiet, warm, and loyal. When two people know each other deeply, they don't need a script. They just need each other. And wherever they go, be it a studio in Seoul, the streets of Tokyo, or the streets of Los Angeles, they always carry something that can't be bought. Real togetherness. Because no matter how far they go, no matter how deeply the world tries to interpret them, one thing never changes. They find each other. And in that silence, love speaks. For some, Jimin and Jungkook's moments together are just fleeting glimpses on a timeline. But for those who truly pay attention, every movement, no matter how small, holds meaning. Like when they walk side by side through the airport without saying a word but their steps are in sync. Or when one of them laughs and the other can't help but smile. There's a harmony that can't be forced. It can only grow from a familiarity that has weathered time, pressure, and the thousands of stages they've shared. They don't hold hands all the time. But when they do, the world seems to stop for a moment. Because behind that hold, there's comfort, protection, and an unspoken promise that they're there for each other even when the world gets too noisy. Many may not realize it, but for fans who've watched them for a long time, this togetherness is a language. A language without words. A language only those who know how to listen to the silence can decipher. There's one thing that never changes: their eyes as they gaze into each other's eyes. Behind all the spotlights and the endlessly rolling cameras, their gazes always return to the same point. Jimin's tender, attentive gaze. Jungkook's awe-inspiring, as if still seeing someone who makes him want to be better. That gaze isn't fake. It appears in unedited moments, in raw footage, in unplanned laughter. And in every journey they've taken, whether publicly announced or secretly captured by fans' eyes, there's a common thread that unites them. They care for each other. They care for each other. They remind each other that even in an ever-changing world, there's something constant. Something that can't be explained by statistics, album sales, or exclusive contracts. Something pure and elusive: connection. Then another lingering question arises: is all this just a coincidence? Or is there a deeper truth they're deliberately keeping quiet about because they know some of the most beautiful things don't need to be announced? Some loves aren't meant to be shouted out. They just need to be protected. When Jungkook wears a hat that says Tokyo, with an address that references their past, he doesn't need to say anything. It's a silent language that not everyone understands. But for those who do, it's a gentle way of saying, I still remember. And perhaps that's what makes their relationship so captivating. They don't give direct answers, but they leave the door open for us to guess, ponder, and hope. They leave room for imagination, yet still present an undeniable reality. Their closeness is real. Every interaction is part of a story that's constantly being written. A novel that's never truly finished. Sometimes there's a long pause, sometimes just a short scene. But each chapter is filled with nuance, sincerity, courage, small gestures, and profound understanding. Jimin and Jungkook aren't just two idols from a famous group. They are two people who grew up together, learning about the world while caring for each other, becoming each other's home. Such a relationship is rare, especially in a tough and stressful industry. But they prove that a bond built with the heart will always endure, even as times change and the world moves on. And that's where their strength lies. In meaningful silences, in glances that speak louder than 1,000 words, in quick hugs that are warmer than a thick blanket on a cold winter's day. That's where we, the fans, find reason to believe that true love in any form is still possible. It's still possible to grow. It's still possible to ignite even without needing to be announced to the world. Because ultimately, some things aren't meant to be proven. They just need to be felt. And the relationship between Jimin and Jungkook is one of those. Thank you for accompanying the sweet story of Jimin and Jungkook today. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss their next special moment. See you in the next video, Jikookers.